That's because you can adapt it and make it your own. Change the words around. The word change can be petrifying for some people, so when I do them, we call it a transformation canvas instead of a change canvas. Because until then in the end, like now they call it a change canvas, but change was scary initially. So here was, this is actually for 2 teams. At the very top is for the data analyst team that I worked with, and the second part was for the DBA team.
What's the second part, the lower part?
The lower, this is for another team, for a DBA team. So I did the canvas at a team level instead of like at an organizational level, which you can do it at an organizational level and then have multiple team canvases for all the teams within the organization or maybe a department. I took the approach where I did a strategy just for each individual team, because the strategies were different at that team level because of what was going on. And then the teams created their own team canvas. And these are the actual wins that were documented. The change options here, there's actually nothing here because they actually adopted every option that they put up here. And this Kanban, I call it the experiments Kanban because changes are experiments. They could work, they could not work. So that's what happened. So if you guys have any questions, we can talk a little bit more about it. Some of the questions I'll just talk about real quickly is, you start off asking management, so what change are you making? And then surprisingly, they argued about it. They're like, oh, they had to actually set limits, okay? Pick what's the most valuable change that you really want to make at that time. Then why is that change important to the organization? How will we measure success? How will we demonstrate progress? Who's affected by this change? What investments are needed? How will we help people transition? And how will change be made visible and adjusted? On the team canvas, when we got into things, we talked a little bit about how can the team contribute to the vision of the strategy canvas. And then during that transformation workshop, I actually, the team was like, well, what's our vision of where we want to be as a team? They want to put that on there. And that's what you can just, hey, refactor in real time. That was very important for the team. Also indicating what is supporting this change, and that's the change by management. Having that understanding, what is working against the change, and what help does the team need. What you don't see here is there's actually some questions before we even build a team canvas, which Jason has on one of his blog articles. There's some very powerful questions you can get them to ask them before you even start building it. And this actually is more therapeutic for them because it's asking questions about the strategy canvas. Okay, you know, what was surprising to you? What stood out? What didn't you understand? Those type of things. And so they start thinking, and it prepares them mentally to begin building a team canvas.
Question. A lot of these on the canvas are qualitative. Are there specific measures involved with success for those? Or?
Yeah, and the measures for success are identified on the strategy canvas.
Oh, all right.
Okay? And you're looking at a lot of these different things. I look at these post-it notes. Some of them are at a fine grain level, and some of them are more stories. Even with the change options, it's like, okay, like someone put good documentation that was important for them. What does good documentation look like? They would have to have a story around that. So those are different experiments. A lot of the things that are in the team canvas and strategy canvas will end up as change options on here. And then some of them, what I did was a grid, talking about, you know, high or low. These are no-brainers, quick wins, so they can choose which ones were most important to do quickly. These are more strategic strategic, when we need to split or simplify, have conversations about. On the experiments Kanban, we had, actually had just 4 basic things. Prepare, introduce, learn, review. As we played these different things. So some of them actually played through the Kanban, other ones were just observations that were noted, and we just immediately put it in the win column, because that was exciting. Please just take a look. Any more questions?
I got two. Like the data management group here, what prompted them to actually invite you? What are the top 3 problems they were suffering from to the point that we need an external help? We need somebody to walk in and help us. Within that group, for example, data management.
Well, the biggest thing is they weren't delivering. They had a project that was, they needed to move and have progress on. It's a multi-year project and nothing was happening. They were inundated with support work, right, which is, which some of it we ended up transitioning to the second team.
Okay.
And that was one of the biggest things, not delivering. Some of the team dynamics.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So how does this get reconciled to this?
Well,
or do they, or?
Yes, for the strategy, the team is talking about, well, how can they contribute to the strategy of the change agents, which was management. And then they talked about what they needed to actually do that. So managers was looking like, hey, you know what help do we need to actually contribute to this vision? We need more, they may say, I need more people. We need more DBAs, we need planning, we need coaching on better communication. For this team, their biggest struggle was each other. They had
Wow.
we were in this room, and everyone knew it there that you had people there they couldn't be in the room together. So they needed a lot of coaching on just how to work together and not be in a high blame environment, how not to scream at each other leaving a meeting. Some of those things, and then start looking at, how do we do the work and how to.
We teach that in primary, like in elementary school, right?
So these teams were different. And what's amazing is, actually these 2 teams are now combined. And they have one canvas together, where they went in just 6 months. From a team that wasn't delivering, they had a backlog that was 2 years long. So by the time I left, it was at a half a week.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over a period of how long?
6 months. So change can happen rapidly when you're invested in it. And to me, I found that the canvas was the greatest part of the conversation because they own the change.
Did you say that the team was involved with both their team and their strategy, or was this just
the strategy
management?
canvas is built by management. The team canvas is built by the team. But the strategy canvas is also refactored based upon what the team puts in here. So once the team canvas was built, management looked at the team canvas and said, oh, they're saying they need these different things. They started having conversations about it. Maybe something's not adding up. Maybe are our goals actually doesn't make sense.
So what's the feedback cycle? How does once they review their concerns, how does that get back to the team?
It's some things are formal, some things are not formal. Like, hey, let's have a conversation with the team. Let's get them together. We want to encourage conversations quickly and not like, oh, we need to wait 3 weeks. Let's get the team together and let's just talk about this real quick. What are your concerns about maybe it's a certain issue and figuring that out? Like, no, they didn't hire more DBAs, and they actually didn't really need to. It was because they had so much work, the backlog, but actually spending time with them, looking at their backlog to say, other things are really project work. This stuff is actually really done. It's been in the queue forever. We can close this out. Moving things along. Maybe the whip was just too high, and taking all these things out of progress and enforcing whip limits, and they actually move things to done, go slow to go fast because you can't do 50 things at the same time. So discovering, we actually didn't need more people. I just needed to do other practices to reduce what it felt like with this youth burden.
In these cases, you've got sort of the manager sets a strategy, and then like a team is like what, a scrum team? How big is the team?
Well, the teams were
I'm just wondering, so
size.
like,
Yeah,
so if I had
it's
a team that had 5 scrum, or if I have an organization that has 5 scrum teams, would each of the 5 do their own canvas, or do they?
Each team will do their own canvas. So no matter what size the team is, if it's a team of 3 or 7, or each team will have their own canvas.
So once you have this, how often do you review it?
I reviewed it with management, but actually bi-weekly, and the team monthly. Yeah. It's kind of up to you on how often you do it. Jason, you want to comment on how often you reviewed your canvases?
In the large organization I'm working with right now, we would review them monthly with all the teams. So we would get the 20 pilot teams in a room and on a call, because they're distributed all across multiple time zones. And we'd use their feedback into changing the strategy canvas. And then within the teams, some teams have adopted it as, they use it as their retrospective technique. So instead, everything, whatever exercise they do in the retrospective, the output goes on the team canvas.
Well, how much time do you spend working with the teams in a given week?
Working with the teams?
Yes.
On the canvas? Oh, well, we're not like spending time like staring at the canvas. the canvas is out in the open, and the teams can engage with it as often as they want. Most of the time, they're not actually looking at it. When I say it's organic, they already know in their mind, because they're actually invested in it, what's actually up here, which is very natural. For me, I'm moving stuff. I'm actually more involved with it than documenting the wins and things happen, like, oh, no, I was in a reference director, or this other meeting saw this, or they actually got something done or completed, whatever that win was, and putting it down here at that time. Go ahead.
So how can you have such a few words and common understanding? Because to me, this is like, I couldn't get everybody to understand more DBAs. What does that mean?
Well,
How do you get that shared understanding of what those?
because they're actually doing it together. They're creating that together. When we're creating the team canvas, they're having a conversation. They're putting different things up there and saying, hey, what's actually, because they're limiting what's up here. So you're having a lot of team members, they put a ton of stuff up here, and they'll say, okay, what do we really want to do? What do we need the most help with? They're deciding that as a team together. And then they may refactor the words. One team member may have worded it one way, one another, and say, okay, this makes the most sense. And they're having that conversation, what does that look like? But
How big are your team sizes?
let's see, I'm trying to remember. This team was a team of, this one was, I think, 4, and that was like 7.
And these change options come from the team campuses?
Oh, the change options, management and the team, when they built their canvases, they threw up change options. So these are some of the things that we want to change. That can actually be solutions for some of the things within, in the vision. And they'll play it. Some of them are still at a higher level, some are more fine-grained. And the change options will run through the Kanban.
And then they end up
On the website.
or scrapped.
Yeah. Or scrap, yeah, because some of them are like, oh, we don't really want to do this anymore.
So
When they reviewed it, it's like, oh, that's not an option, because some of them negated each other. Some of them kind of pulled them together. Yeah, sorry, we just put this here because it was empty, so we drew this right here. So you can kind of see it. But these actually kind of go before that. Any other questions?
You don't do like software, right? You can't do this on a software.
Oh, you can.
You can, but
You can, but I wouldn't.
the point here is to have it.
It's the shared understanding with the conversation, because you look at a sticky and see something and it makes no sense to us. If you went back to the teams and showed them that, they would know exactly what that 2 lines on the sticky meant, because it's in their brains now. And you don't get that in a tool.
What's interesting is, yes, this is an example with data delivery teams. people who, they're a different type of developer, but it's actually my first time working with a data delivery team. Usually I'm working with software developers. But the principles are the same. It doesn't really matter what your solution is. It's about people having conversations. You can work with any team, whether you're doing software or not.
When you spoke about language, right, that we had to stop, where, was that just a conversation, or how did that manifest itself come out from using the canvas?
Well, the blame allows them to actually have the conversation, because for some of the teams, you can get them in the room to build this team canvas together. For example, with one of the teams, their relationship was so strained, and we actually have to work together to do that, to say, hey, we want to get solution focused. There's goals that management need to achieve that we're not doing. We have to do it our own time. So that's setting the stage for that. It's setting the stage for them to be able to partner and work together to make this successful. And that's the reason why I put it up there. And then say, even if it was just management in the team, for example, some teams have that. If you're saying that, oh, we're going to partner together, you're really going to listen to me. This is a shared change. We both own it. They weren't really going to buy that in without that.
About having a conversation about coupling me and
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.